Axe the tax now, please.
There is no message. He should know by now. And if not, then he should resign.
And so what would you say to Justin Trudeau?
For the carbon tax, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Show us. Here at the Herbs gas station between Ottawa and Montreal, there is a lot of people who are protesting the rise of the carbon tax. On April 1st, 2024, numerous farmers, forestry industry workers, and others mobilized near the border of Ontario and Quebec to convey their opposition to the carbon tax to the government. One of the participants recounted that the convoy had attempted to approach the border, but several police patrols were deployed to block them at strategic junctions.
Eight out of 10 families across the country in federal backstop jurisdictions make more money with the Canada carbon rebate than it costs with the price on pollution.
But now we will engage conversation with some of the farmers and some forestry workers who have a lot to say about the impact of the carbon tax in their work and in their lives. What would be your message to Justin Trudeau to see him increasing the carbon tax, but at the same time he's increasing the salary of himself and all the MP on the same day?
Well, the problem is the public has to go and spend more money to get food, whereas he gets more salary to do whatever he wants, go on holidays and spend it everywhere.
Well, I think it needs to stop because the world needs the farmers, and the farmers needs the fuel and needs the gas. And I think if everybody wants to keep eating what we're eating now, it's important that he keep.
It's sad. Like we're all Canadians, should be. That's a big no. I mean, huh?
It is very bad. I mean, we should pay and get less in our pocket, and they vote themselves in a higher wage, which isn't right. If we get less income, they for sure cannot ask for an increase. I think that's totally wrong.
Well, I don't think it's fair to the people if they had to pay more for living, and it cost everyone more, from your groceries to house rent and everything, all your fuel everywhere to get to work. So there's a lot of extra money that we don't need to pay.
We have to pay more, we suffer more, and they increase their salaries. That's a slap in the face.
You're pretty young, you're a farmer?
Yes.
So can you explain to us how the carbon tax will impact your business, your farm, and yourself?
It would be about like an extra $100 an acre to run land, and it would just cost that much more to be able to farm the land, and that cost goes right on to people that are buying the food.
Well, the problem is that we don't have many options. Like if we want to dry our corn, we don't have another option. And by law, they're actually not even allowed to introduce a tax if you don't have a secondary option to dry your corn. So, and now that cost is going to go up again, whereas the prices go down in corn. And we just have to find other ways to make money at the end of the day.
Basically, it's on the grain drying where we pay more. That's the main aspect. And then all the transportation for all the goods that we have to transport, we're paying more for transport because of the carbon tax. So everything we're paying carbon tax on comes right off our profit.
So the drying is going to cost me 20% more, and then to pick up the goods, it's going to cost me 20%. It's going to be all charged. And the electrician, they charge already gas money. They're going to charge another 20% more. And
On your job, you were mentioning that you're in the forestry industry. Can you a little bit mention what would be the impact for you and the business?
Yeah, the prices of gas are just out of hands now, so it's very hard to keep up with all of that and all these taxes that they're implementing on us, right? So it's just hard to keep up, and having your own small business is a hard thing nowadays. It's like they don't want the small players to succeed.
So they mainly say that the carbon tax is for fighting climate change and to push people to change their habit. Do you think that the carbon tax really helped to fight against climate change, or there is another purpose?
I don't think they're using it as effective as they could to fight climate change. They could make much bigger of a difference with the amount of money they've collected, so I don't think they're using it all the best way they could.
If the carbon tax would clean up the CO2, I might say, okay, you have a point, but it's just a tax grab. They can't fix it by charging me more carbon tax, and the CO2 in the atmosphere is only 0.04%. What do we think we can change?
because we're so clean already in Canada, like how low we want to go with the carbon, like we can't produce food anymore. We're at 0.00 already, so 0.3 something. Like we can't go much lower.
No, it doesn't help at all. It's bullshit.
No, it's only another purpose. The carbon tax is not going to change. Like Canada is carbon negative. Like we have enough green, enough trees, enough carbon sequestration that we can get the carbons down. We don't need a tax for that. It's just to look good compared to the rest of the world.
I don't think so. I don't think it's doing anything about climate. I think the climate is something that the whole world, right, the whole earth needs to do something about. And I think in Canada, we're already doing our part already quite enough compared to some other third world countries that could maybe use some help, right, in diminishing their emissions, right? So.
Do you think it's profitable because you're receiving rebate?
No. No. There's going to be some rebate, but not enough. There's not going to be enough. But the problem is, the people think it's just the farmers, but at the end of the day, it's going to be everybody, because you're going to pay more for the milk in the store. We get more. We get probably 2 or 3 cents in the future more. You pay 15 cents more in the store.
If you had a message to transmit to the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, what would it be?
To make Canada affordable again.
Axe the tax now, please.
There is no message. He should know by now. And if not, then he should resign.
And so what would you say to Justin Trudeau?
For the carbon tax, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's...
Show us.
It's very simple. Canada is a big country. It has a lot of natural resources. We could actually make a living without having taxes. So just if we would spend it smarter, then we would be able to have a living for everybody.
Don't forget to go over stopthecarbontax.com, sign the petition that you have enough of having more tax on your shoulder, and also don't forget to watch all the reports of my fellow colleagues that are deployed across Canada to cover every single protest about the carbon tax raise in Canada.